guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, we are making candy. We've got 8 different candy options. It's gonna be fun and we're gonna be sugared up and ready for our gift giving Christmas season. I've got my hair up, which means we're gonna do a lot of stuff. First things first, I need a sip of my tea because I'm thirsty. All right, are you ready? Now I'm taking it old school and using an actual cookbook and not online recipe. I feel like we're doing ancient things today. The first thing we are gonna make is a chocolate dipped caramel, but we have to make the caramel first. And it's gonna take the longest amount of time because it's gotta cool for about 4 hours or so. So we're gonna start on that, and then hopefully by the end we can dip it and do all that fun stuff. If not, then we'll do that tomorrow. To start off, we need 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Oh my gosh, you know what? It's like the simple things in life, guys. The little things in life, just that is perfect. Like, okay, yay me. Love that. Love that for me. Okay. All right, we need 1.5 cups of heavy cream. We need 1 cup of sugar, which, if you could see my island right now, it's a disaster. Okay, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Dump that. 1/3 cup of corn syrup. I know, it sounds terrible. We need 1/3 cup of light corn syrup. And again, it's not the greatest, but I hope that's 1/3. This is not the right measuring cup. Hold. All right, let's try this again. Okay, just a smidge more. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, some things you just gotta use it. But if you don't eat it every day, then a little bit won't hurt you every now and then. Okay, anyway, enough about that. Now we are gonna turn this on. If I know how to work my little machine here. Okay, I'm just stirring this up just to get started. And then while that starts cooking, we're gonna line our baking pan. Okay, so we're gonna line an 8 by 8 square inch pan, and we're gonna do that with foil. Now, because this has really sharp corners, it's gonna easily tear. So to prevent that, there's one trick I like to do. Just flip it upside down. And I'm gonna double this, so I'm gonna go this way and that way. And then I'm just gonna gently kind of form the corners of my pan. So as you can see, I've got my corners, and then just kind of lift that up. And then when you put this in your pan, in theory, it should fit. You shouldn't have to like push down and break everything in the process. And then you can use like a, what are these called? A measuring cup. And I'm just kind of like smoothing it. This is ready to go. I'm just gonna spray it with some non-stick spray. Whoa, we're boiling over here. And we're just gonna give it a stir. Now the next thing we want to do is insert our thermometer. All right, we want our temp to get to 250. So while this is boiling, every couple minutes we just need to give it a little stir. If you have a candy thermometer, this is when this would be a good time. I just have like a meat thermometer, but it's on this little cord, so that is helpful. Now every so often you want to just get a pastry brush with some water and just run it along the edge, and this will keep it from crystallizing. All right, we're currently at 219. All right, guys, our caramel, oh my gosh, hush. Okay, quiet. Oh. So our caramel has gotten to temperature. Now we're gonna add a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon of butter, and then a teaspoon, which I'm gonna do a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, because that's my favorite. Okay. And then we're just gonna stir this around. And then once all that butter is melted, we're gonna pour it into our pan. It looks so yummy. We're just gonna pour this in. The one thing I love about these pans is they are so like non-stick. I don't think anything sticks in these things. But the problem with using this little cooking thing is it's a convection or invection oven, so, or cooktop. Induction, gosh, y'all, I'm serious. It's an induction cooktop, so you can only use certain pots and pans and things like that. Okay, our caramel has been poured in our pan. We're gonna set this aside to cool. So I've got our caramel, I pulled it out of the pan, and you can use chocolate chips. I'm just gonna use the melting wafers, the dark chocolate ones, just because they're easier and why not? I have them in my pantry. Okay, I'm gonna just mix both bags. Let me go stick this in the microwave. We're gonna do 30-second increments. Now while that is melting, we're gonna cut our caramel. So what I'm gonna do is, as best I can, I'm gonna eyeball a half. How big do we want these? Maybe let's do thirds. And then, so I'm just kind of eyeballing what half would be, and then I'm doing kind of what a third would be. I could measure. I don't want to press my luck. Let me stir up our chocolate. Okay, and then again, we're going to cut these this other side. I think I might just cover half in the chocolate and then leave the rest just, or should I do them all? Yeah, I think I would just do half. I got a little foil stuck. Don't want to eat that. That would not be good. This is like rage inducing. All right, now. Future tip, I would take the foil off the back before you cut it. That would make it a lot easier than cutting it with the foil on the back still. Now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take the caramel. Let's see, maybe let's do half so we can get a good grip on it. And just dunk it, and then we're gonna add some sprinkles. It'll be festive. Oh, or drop the whole thing in the chocolate. Maybe we'll do that. Let's do that. I'm gonna have to rethink my sprinklage. If there's a mess to be had, or mess to be made, I'm making it. So I'm just kind of shaking it off, dropping it, you know. It's not gonna take us any time. And then we're gonna sprinkle. All right, those are done. Recipe number 2, we're gonna make peanut brittle. You either like peanut brittle or you don't. I personally love it myself, but that's here nor there. Anyway, to start off, one thing that I wanna tell you is you're gonna need a jelly roll pan. This one is like a half sheet, and I'll link some down in the description. You either need to heavily butter your pan, or you need to use a silicone mat. These are from Amazon. I really like them. They're lightweight. I use this for my macarons. You do not want to use parchment or foil because it will stick and you'll hate yourself after all this hard work and all the things that you've done, and then it gets ruined. So heed that warning. Do not use parchment, do not use foil. It doesn't matter how much you butter it or spray it, whatever, it's gonna stick and then you're gonna be mad. So now that we've gotten our homework out of the way, now we're gonna make the stuff. Okay, so we need 2 cups of sugar. So 1, 2, I need a half a teaspoon of salt. So we're gonna dump that in. Half a cup of water and 1 cup of corn syrup. I know guys, I'm sorry. This is why it's good. I never said any of these recipes were gonna be healthy. That never came out of my mouth. So if you're looking for healthy snacks, healthy treats to put in people's baskets, you're gonna have to go to a different channel because this isn't it. Okay, now we're gonna turn our pan on. All right, so we're just gonna stir this up. We wanna make sure all of our sugar has dissolved. And then once it starts boiling, we're gonna put our thermometer back in, and we want it to reach 265. At that point, we're gonna add our peanuts, our butter, baking soda, and vanilla. Now the reason you don't wanna stir constantly anytime you're making like caramel or boiling any type of sugar is a lot of times what will happen is it'll start crystallizing along the edges of the pan, which you don't want. So that's why the pastry brush with the water, that helps control all that. So just let it fight the attempt to wanting to stir constantly. Just let it do its thing. We're just gonna chill and we're gonna gather all of our other ingredients so we're ready to go once this reaches the temperature, because once we put all that stuff in, then we've got to let it reach 300 degrees, which is hard crack. All right, guys. We are at 265. So now we're gonna add our raw peanuts, and then it's got the skin on. So I'm just gonna dump that in there. And we're gonna stir that up the best we can. All right. Now we're gonna cook this to 300. It's just gonna do its thing. The next thing, once this reaches 300, then we're gonna add our baking soda, vanilla, and our butter. And it's gonna bubble and go crazy. And then we're gonna pour it in our pan. All right, guys, we are at 300. This thing off because it's loud. And my camera is so crooked, guys. I apologize. Now we're gonna dump our baking soda. And then add our vanilla. And then we're gonna pour this on our baking sheet. A little bit of our vanilla or our butter. All right. Now we're just gonna spread this out a little bit. Okay. I've kind of run out of room here, but you can pull your brittle. I'm just kind of smishing it around. Now we're just gonna let that chill out, and then we will be back for the next thing. We're gonna let this cool before we start breaking it up. Here is our peanut brittle. So I'm just gonna take this and just break it in chunks. However you wanna do it, you can do big chunks, little chunks, everywhere chunk. All right, that looks good. These are huge. Our peanut brittle. Okay, next on our list, we're gonna make pralines. Now, we're gonna toast our nuts. Now, this is just chopped pecans, like a rough chop. You can buy the whole pecans and then chop them up if you want. This was just easier. So we need 2 cups of pecans. So 1, whoa. A little more will be all right. Okay, and we're just gonna spread this out a little bit. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven. I've got my oven set at 300 and we're gonna do it for about 9 to 10 minutes. All right, now while that, get that out the way. Now while that's baking, or roasting, toasting, we're gonna get the rest of our ingredients together. So we need 2 cups of sugar. So 1, 2. A 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. And you want it packed, so we're just gonna press it in there. 1/2 cup of that. We need a cup of buttermilk. Yum. So if you don't have buttermilk, a quick substitution, you can use whole milk, and then for every cup you would add a teaspoon of, is it teaspoon or tablespoon? I'll write the correct thing. I can't remember now that I'm saying this. Sorry, I had to check. Okay, so if you don't have buttermilk, you can use whole milk, and then add 1 tablespoon of either lemon juice or white vinegar to the milk. So for every cup, you would do a tablespoon of either lemon juice or vinegar. And then you just let that sit for about 5 minutes till it gets curdly. All right, we need buttermilk. Yum. Then I need a teaspoon of baking soda. And then 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So that's very small, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna turn this baby on. And then we're just gonna stir this up. And then we're gonna go ahead and put 4 tablespoons of butter. And I'm just gonna kind of stir this up until that butter is nice and melty. And then we're gonna put our candy thermometer back on, and we're gonna set our temperature to 236, which is the softball stage. Now, I can't remember if I've ever made pralines before. My mom makes them all the time, so that's one of her things that she does for the holidays. But I don't recall if I've ever made these. I like to eat them, so I don't know if that counts. We're getting there. I'm gonna go ahead and put our thermometer in here. And again, we wanna get it to 236. And like with anything with these recipes, if you have a silicone mat, it just makes it so much easier. These are reusable. You can just wash them. If you don't have a silicone, you can do parchment for this one. This one will be fine. So once this reaches 236, we're gonna take it off the heat. We're gonna add our vanilla and our toasted nuts, and then we're gonna scoop them onto our pan. So I need to get my scooper. Might need a bigger pan. This is getting mighty full. All right, I don't know if this is gonna be any better. This pan might be too small. Oh gosh, all right, simmer down. We're at 212. Is it gonna make it? I don't know. So just be aware, if you make this recipe, you need a deep pot. I'm a little nervous. We're at 216. I have like, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. All right, we're steady at 217. All right, we're at 221. All right, guys, so we are at 232. All right, we're good. Let's turn that off. Turn that off. Whew, scoochy that over. All right, so we need to add our nuts and our vanilla. It smells so good. All right, we're just gonna stir this up. It says to stir for 3 to 4 minutes until mixture has thickened and turned opaque. 3 to 4 minutes is a long time. All I know is it looks good. I've got a minute left, so I've been doing it for 3 minutes, so might as well just go ahead and finish my minute. All right, and then I'm just gonna scoop. I've got a little, it's like a 2 tablespoon scooper. Now, as I get to the end, they're not like spreading as much. So you might have to not beat it for 4 minutes. Maybe that's the key. All right, tastes good. Okay, now on to the next recipe. All right, friends, we're done with our pralines. Now we are moving on to our peanut clusters. So I have 4.5 cups of dry roasted salted peanuts, and then I've got about 12 ounces, 13 ounces of chocolate chips. I'm gonna do white chocolate chips, but you can do white, you can do chocolate, whatever you want, but I'm just doing white today. So I'm just popping that in the microwave for about 30-second increments. And I'm just gonna do that until everything is nice and melty. You don't wanna do more than 30 because you can end up scorching your chocolate and it'll seize up and then it's no bueno. So after each increment, I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna give it a stir. And then we're gonna pop it back in. And the reason you wanna stir it is because if you were just to continue to put it in there and hit 30 till it was done, a lot of times you can get little hot spots in the chocolate and then you'll end up burning it. So this just helps it from doing that. All right, that looks good. Now, I'm just gonna dump all my peanuts in here. I probably could have done more chocolate. Like, you can never have too much chocolate. All right, that looks good. Now I'm gonna take my pan, and same thing, we're just gonna scoop some out on our little cookie sheet. Do you remember, what were they called? They were called like haystacks. It was those little, I can't even think of what it was like a little Chinese noodle. And you would put those in, I feel like it was peanut butter and white chocolate. And you do the same little thing. They were called haystacks. You could add some little sprinkles to the top of this. That would be cute. We're just keeping it simple. Unadulterated. All right, so we've got our 2 trays of peanut clusters. Now we are doing, what are we making? I'm not sure. On to the next. The next item on our list is gonna be red wine truffles. I've never had that. I've never made that, but it sounded good, so we're gonna give it a try. The first thing I need is 16 ounces of semi-sweet chips. Now I'm just gonna pop these in the microwave. We're gonna reduce the power to 50% and then zap it for about 20 to 30 seconds. Stir it, and we're gonna do that for about a minute, if that makes sense. I don't know. I also forgot to say we need a tablespoon of butter in that. So 1 tablespoon of butter and 16 ounces of chocolate. And just like with the white chocolate chips, we wanna stir this up. We don't wanna get them, we don't want them to burn. Okay, one more. Now put our heavy cream in there for about a minute. Okay, Our heavy cream is nice and hot. So I'm gonna pour this over our chocolate and we're just gonna let that sit for a second and then we'll mix it in until it's nice and smooth. You don't want any lumps in your chocolate. Now we're gonna stir in our wine, or whisk in our wine. And this is a Cabernet. Like I said, I've never tried this. It sounded interesting. I mean, I like chocolate and I like wine. So I can't imagine that being a bad combo. Okay. That looks good. So now we just need to let this sit to cool so that we can scoop it into little truffles. So I'm just very gently pressing or touching the plastic wrap to the top of the chocolate. Okay, we're gonna just let that hang out. Actually, I might stick it in the fridge so it can chill quicker. All right, so we are back. Tidied up a little bit. We need this for later. Okay, so next thing on our agenda, we're gonna finish the red wine truffles. So this set up nicely. I'm gonna use gloves because my hands are gonna get disgusting. I'm just gonna put some cocoa powder in this bowl. So I'm just gonna scoop. Maybe I'll scoop them all and then roll them. That might be easier. And really this is kind of too big, I feel like. I need one probably a touch smaller. But I love my scoopers. If you've watched me at all, I use them for everything. Cookies, muffins, truffles. And honestly, instead of like rolling them into a ball, you could keep them like this. Have the little flat end. I think I might do that actually. Will be weird. It's good to be weird. So some of you know that I own a bakery, and I've kind of stepped away from that. I've got a good team and they've kind of taken charge, so it's good. And this just allows me to do the YouTube thing, which I've really enjoyed. Like I said last episode, I'm just in a season where I just want to slow down a bit. My kids are, one kid is out of the house, the other one has got a year left and he'll be gone. So I'm kind of doing things backwards, but I'm enjoying it. Okay. Okay, now, like I said, I don't want to roll it. I'm just gonna take it and roll it in the cocoa powder. Okay, these are done. They definitely got soft towards the end, so you might wanna scoop them and then stick them in the fridge and then just take maybe half of them out and then do the cocoa powder and then do the other half. But I'm gonna stick these back in the fridge and let them firm up, and then we're gonna go on to the next thing. Now we are gonna make a pretzel toffee something. Pretzel toffee. All right, so for this recipe, we're gonna need our little thing back, but we won't need it for long, so that's good. All right, so you wanna get your sheet pan. You want your sheet pan out with either a silicone baking mat or you wanna spray the heck out of it. I don't recommend parchment or foil just because it'll stick and you'll be sad. Okay, we need 8 ounces of pretzels, which where are my pretzels? This is a 16-ounce bag, so I'm just gonna do about half. I'm not gonna weigh it, measure it, or anything like that. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And would you like to know my scientific method of how I have a bag? So if this is my bag, and I'll just kind of eyeball, okay, that looks about half. And then I just kind of shimmy my hands in there. Okay. Now you do want to kind of crush your pretzels up some, so I'm just gonna kind of crunch them. And I'm just trying to make a nice even layer. Now I am curious to see how close I was on my weight, so I'm gonna weigh the bag. Let's see how my eyeballs work. Okay, I'm showing you this because you're not gonna believe me. 8 ounces. I kid you not. Guys, it works. It's a method. Okay, all right, I'm proud of that. It's the little things in life. It really is. Okay, you gotta appreciate the small things, right? Okay, now let me read my recipe here. Okay, so I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. So all I need is, I need a cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, and I need a cup of brown sugar. So, and this is unsalted butter. Okay, and then a cup of brown sugar. So that's a half. There's 1. Y'all, I'm still, oh my God, I can't believe I mean, I can. God is good. He likes to give me those things every now and then. Okay, all right, we're gonna turn this little fella on. So what we need to do, we need this to start boiling, like get everything melted and boil. And once it boils, we're gonna boil it for about 4 minutes. And then we're gonna pour it on top of our pretzels and then stick that in the oven. All right, we're just gonna stir this. And again, once it starts boiling, you don't want to stir it a lot just because you don't want a lot of those crystals. Okay, so we're gonna get this going. So we're just gonna get this to where it's boiling, which shouldn't take it long because there's not a ton in here. I don't know if it needs to be a rolling boil. So I'm gonna give it just another second and then I'll start my timer. Let's go. So we got 4 minutes. We're gonna let that boil and then we're gonna pour this over our pretzels and then bake it in the oven for 5 minutes. And then once we pull it out of the oven, we will sprinkle mini chocolate chips and spread that on there, and then we'll top it with some toffee bits. Should be tasty. I know a lot of people that are gonna get a lot of yummy treats this week. All right, we got 1 minute left. Okay, turn that off. All right, now we're just gonna pour this over the top. We're gonna bake for 5 minutes. All right, our toffee has been resting, or excuse me, cooking. So we need to let this rest for about 3 minutes, and then we're gonna pour on our chocolate chips and our toffee bits. It's been 3 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and just sprinkle on our chocolate chips. You know, I'm gonna pop this in the oven for like a minute. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, now let's do our toffee. All right. Looks delicious. All right, we're done with this one, and now we're gonna start the next. Let's see if I can. And so same thing, we're just gonna break that up. All right, so there's our toffee. Next thing on our list is peanut butter balls, AKA buckeyes. Hopefully my mic is working. If not, I'm gonna be really, really sad. I'm busting out the Big Daddy today. All right, so to our, what do we need? We need a stick of softened butter. And 3/4 of a cup of creamy peanut butter. Now you don't want to use like natural, like the really oily peanut butter. This is natural, but it's not. You don't want it, what is the word? I don't even know what the word I'm thinking of. What's the word I'm thinking of, honey? Winnie, what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Okay, y'all gonna have some peanut butter in a minute. I'm busy. Let's get this. I need 3 cups of powdered sugar, and because this powdered sugar hates me, it's super clumpy. 1, 2. Okay, and my battery is about to die. So we're just gonna mix this up. I need 1/8 of a teaspoon, which seems ridiculous to even worry with. Anyway, I need salt and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and then we're just gonna roll these into balls. All right. So you want your dough to be able to be molded like that. So that's when you've got a good texture. So I'm gonna get that rolled out, and then I will see you later. Okay. So we ran out of time yesterday when we were doing the videos, or ran out of battery, excuse me. So what I ended up doing is I took our purple scoop and I scooped the peanut butter dough on here, just rolled it with my hand, and then just popped this in the fridge overnight. We've already got our chocolate melted because we're ready to go. We're multitasking. And I just have like a little skewer, something like that. And you're gonna take it and dip it in to the buckeye or the peanut butter. And then you're gonna just dunk it and then just give it kind of a little shake. And And then with a fork, just kind of twist and pull out. And then once we get everything done, we'll go back and cover that hole. So again, I'm just like dunking, kind of rotating a little bit. And then I'm just taking my fork and just kind of twisting the stick and pulling it straight up. So we're just gonna do this for the rest of these. I really need a bigger tray. I have an idea. There we go. And I'm not sticking it all the way through the peanut butter. I'm just trying to get just enough to where it'll hold on to it. And these are very firm, so. Now you can reuse this chocolate if you have anything left. Just put it in like a Ziploc and let it harden. Just write on the bag that you dipped peanut butter in it. That way, if someone you know has a peanut allergy, you know not to use that chocolate for anything else. So we're gonna let this harden and then we'll cover up the little hole and then we'll be back. All right, so our buckeyes have set. So all I'm gonna do now is where the little hole is, I'm just gonna kind of like squeeze it together. And we're gonna stick that back on there. If you didn't wanna do the buckeye, you could just completely cover the peanut butter ball. It's just totally up to you. Winston smells this peanut butter and he wants to eat it. You can't have it, baby. There's sugar. Make you sick. All right, there's our buckeyes. Hey guys, we're back for our final treat. As you can see, it's the next day. Maybe you can't tell, I don't know. Anyway, we are gonna finish our final treat, which is a maple pecan fudge. I've had a fudge similar to this, so this is my first time making this recipe. It looks a little odd in how to make it, but anyway, we're gonna give it a shot. But to start, we need to get our pecans toasted. I think I've managed to use every single sheet tray that I possibly own. So I'm gonna use this little pie tin. I've got all my measuring cups everywhere, guys. You're gonna have to help me out here. Okay, so I have a half, so I need 1.5 cups of pecans, and these are just chopped. So I'm gonna pop this in an oven for about 10 minutes on 300. Okay, next. I need 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup. So not pancake syrup, maple syrup. So I need 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup. I'm not with it today, guys. It's been raining today, and of course, I straightened my hair. So it looks like a mop. I was putting it nicely. Okay, 1.5 cups of heavy cream. And a half. And you could do walnuts instead of pecans, but I have pecans, I don't have walnuts. 3 cups of sugar. Three tablespoons of light corn syrup. Again, you know what? I'm just gonna. There's 1. Two. And 3. All right, light corn syrup, and then I need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right. Now, we're gonna stir this until everything dissolves. And then once it's dissolved, we're gonna stick our thermometer in there and allow it to get to 238 without stirring. I might have to put my hair up today, guys. I can only do so much with my rat's nest. I'm gonna take a tablespoon of butter. I've already prepared my pan, so I did this just like I did with the caramel. So I just flipped it upside down and then kind of got the shape and then put it in my pan. Now if you need to, okay, I got my mic on. I'm always terrified of that. If you need to butter a pan, you can take like a paper towel and then just use that. I've got my pan, now I need my thermometer. And we're gonna set this to 238. Okay, I've got my thermostat. I've got my thermometer set for 238. Guys, I'm telling you what. Now we're just gonna let this ride and see how we do. You know what? This thing, I'm telling you what. I'm gonna buy a candy thermometer. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, let's try this again. We are at 176 and climbing. We're rising. I hope we're not gonna have the same situation as yesterday. So what we're supposed to do is once this boils, or once this gets to temperature, we're supposed to take it off the heat, add 2 tablespoons of butter, and stick it in an ice bath until it reaches 110. So again, that's kind of odd. I've never done a recipe like that. So let's see. Well, we're cooking. We're at 221, 223. I apologize if the lighting is off. It's been yucky. All right, guys, we have reached 238. Now it said to put it in an ice bath. Oh, Nelly. Add our butter. Just plopped in there. I guess we still need this. Because now we need it to get to 110. All right, let's bring this on down. 110. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's gonna get annoying. I might need a different thermometer. Let's not use this one. We'll use this one. Okay, so it says not to stir the butter or anything like that, but allow it to come down to 110. And then once that happens, then we can stir in our butter, and then we're gonna add this mixture to our stand mixer and beat it on high or medium speed for about 10 minutes. All right, we're coming down. We're at 230. So I'll keep checking this and we'll come back when it's at temperature. Okay, we're at temperature. Now we're gonna pour this in here. And we're supposed to beat this medium high for 10 minutes until it's not shiny anymore. All right, we'll come back when it's not shiny. We're at the 5-minute mark and it already looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and add our vanilla in. We're gonna mix that for about a minute and then we'll add our nuts. Okay, now we're gonna pour in our nuts. I like to do this to kind of let some of the stuff get off the beater. Okay. All right, before I make a complete and utter mess, I think we're good. So let's take this off. And make sure I got everything in there. Nuts, vanilla, salt, okay. And then we're just gonna pour this into our pan. And then I'm just kind of pressing it down with my spatula. And then just giving it a nice little shake. All right, that looks good. Okay, we're gonna let this chill in the fridge for about a couple hours just to harden up. All right, so we're gonna cut our fudge. It still needs to sit, but it'll be okay for now. So I just pull this straight down. And because it's still soft, it'll be easy to cut. So I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna cut it in thirds. Just because this is so rich. And you could put these in little mini cupcake liners. That would be a cute little presentation. All right, hey friends, we are done with all of our candy. Does it not look amazing? Some tips for whoever's out there that's gonna try these. With the caramels, make sure to take your caramel off the foil before you cut it, make your life easier. The fudge, everything did well on that. That was our maple pecan fudge. Remember, you can do walnuts or pecans. We've got the red wine truffles. We have our pretzel toffee. The only thing I didn't like about that was using the mini chocolate chips. I feel like they didn't all melt well, so I don't know if I would do that next time. I would probably just do like normal chocolate chips, but yeah, they taste good, so that's good. The pecan or peanut clusters, again, you can do white chocolate or dark chocolate, milk chocolate, whatever you want. Those were super easy. The pralines, those are delicious. Those came out wonderful. Our peanut brittle, remember, make sure that you use one of these silicone mats. Don't use foil or parchment, or you will be in a mess. And then for our buckeyes, remember, you can cover those completely if you want, or you can do it like this. But these really didn't take a lot of time. You know, if you wanted to make 2 or 3 of them and then put them in a cute little tin, these make great gifts, make great hostess gifts if you're going to, you know, all the family functions. I don't know, just a cute little addition. And it doesn't cost too much to do it either. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again for following along and watching me make a fool of myself like I do every week. But we will see y'all next week. Actually, next week is Christmas, so we'll see what we're gonna post. But if I don't see you before then, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you soon. Bye, Merry Christmas, guys.